Hi everybody, so Project Wilna part 3 and happy Friday everyone. So this is the layout I'm going to tackle today and I just love it. So I'm going to take it right off and with different colors and not the butterflies, but everything else I'm stealing right off. So I'm going to start with paper from Crate Paper. This is the best of and 180 pieces. So I'm going to take these papers and they are from the Maggie Holmes collection. And I'm going to cut them at about 6 inches, all of them. And as you can see, she had one 6 by 6 and then it looked like she had a lot of paper behind it. So I'm going to do the same and I'm going to cut one 6 by 6 and then I think it's like 5 maybe. Well, the other papers I'm going to cut them 6 by 2.5 or 3 inches or something. So I'm going to start with just cutting every paper at 6 inches. Um, so it's a lot of paper you're cutting up, but you don't use a lot of paper. And sometimes I think it's easier to cut them up and to use them. Otherwise, if you have a whole sheet, you're like, I'm not going to use it because it's a whole sheet. But I really like this, and I've used up all of these paper after that. So here is all the papers, and I love the color combinations together, very light and airy. The piece I took as 6 by 6 is one of my favorite, and I actually have the Project Life album is in that rose pattern, so love that. Just putting down the papers with some thin double-sided tape, and I make sure not to take the tape all the way to the edge because I want to fold the edge up a bit to distress it. Otherwise it looks so very flat here. These papers are very thin because they come in that sort of best of 180 papers, so the papers got to be pretty thin if you can get 180 of them in one pack. So to give them more dimension and more texture, I'm going to distress the edges when I've put down the papers. So here I'm just sort of curling up the edges a bit just to give it a bit more texture. Vilna sewed her pages down and I would love to do that if my sewing machine would work, but it doesn't, so well, maybe another time. So, she used butterflies, and I don't have a butterfly, and I don't really can cut out any good butterflies. So I'm going to use these super tiny doilies. I'm going to distress them, and then just take a brad to set them in the center. I wanted that same very light and airy as she have, and I think the doilies work perfectly. I also printed out a black and white photo and some text strips that I put down there too. The brads I'm going to use are very shabby chic with white pearls and sort of a cool edge on them. I just poke hole with this. You make circles with it. I don't know what you call it. So here you can see how I put down that. I did sort of cut down some butterflies. They didn't turn out very good, but I thought I was going to give it a try just with normal printing paper. Yeah. They did not turn out good, so I'll try to hide them, but I still want them because she has butterflies too. So, I'm going to use sequins in white and sort of iridescent white. Now she has a label down her photos. I didn't have one, but I found this vellum piece in the Notes and Things ephemera pack with a silver edge, and the silver goes great with the photo and the brads, and so I thought, great. And the check strips are just glued down in the corner to sort of make them stand up a bit. Gluing down, I used regular school glue that would dry clear, but I'm also going to take glossy accent and just dip. This will, these dots will dry completely clear and give some texture without actually adding anything. So now I'm just covering my photo. I have learned that to do that, and I'm going to use Lindy's stamp gang in pink and just drop some paint splatters. And here the first one was candy cotton something, and this one, uh, oh I'm sorry, is Tibetan poppy teal. Tibetan poppy teal? I don't know. uh, yeah, but the blue greenish is pretty much the same as the stems in the flower on the 6x6. So yeah, about hair, I think it's, oh, you can't save it, but it turned out pretty great. When they dry, the color is not quite as bold. Um, so yeah, so here is Wilna's page, and you be the judge. I love my page here, so light and airy, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next week.